Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we are saying goodbye to the Tier 5 French cruiser, the Émile Bertin. And hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. I did look up pronunciations and I'm trying my very best to get the French pronunciations a little better. I will probably still fail at them, so do forgive me. I am trying my very best on these pronunciations. Anyways, we are going to go ahead and take a look at the Tier 5. Anyone that did not watch the live stream, I worked my way up through the Tier 4 to the Tier 5. And essentially have completed it. I'm gonna be moving on to the tier 6 here soon. So let's quickly take a look at the stats. Survivability 26,500. Armor is thin. HE damage really does eat through this armor. Really does suck. The armor layout is, like you can see, it's very thin. The Citadel is fairly high, and you can definitely use that for your advantage against other Bertins whenever you're facing them. Always swap over to AP, and you can do pretty good because the AP is pretty good. So, talking about AP, let's take a look at the guns. You have 3 main guns, 2 in the front of the ship and 1 in the stern. Reload time is lousy, 12 seconds, compared to, say, the Tier 5 Omaha or the Königsberg. They have a much higher reload rate compared to you, at least half of what you have, roughly, around 6 to 8 seconds. Turn time on the guns is 14.2 seconds. Max dispersion is fairly tight, 126 meters. Max HE damage is 2,200 with a 15% fire chance. You will burn down battleships with your HE. So your HE is pretty good, and do keep in mind, my ship does have the flags on it, so I do get that boost. So she does really well burning down enemy battleships, very similar to how the Japanese line does. AP damage, you're looking at 3,300, and the AP I find very effective against cruisers. I highly recommend it, and even against broadside battleships. I just had a battle where shot a salvo of AP against a broadside Congo, did around 6k, I think 4 or 5 shells hit. So your AP can do pretty sizable chunk of damage, so definitely recommend that AP. So the shell velocity can be a little bit lazy. Does get a little time to get used to it, but if you finally get used to it, you can leave the targets, and you do you can do citadels against broadside cruisers from some distance away, so highly recommend it. The range on the guns is 14.9. I don't think I actually said that. So the range is pretty far, but that also means you are able to be detected from pretty far away after you fire your guns, but that's something you just have to keep in mind. Secondaries are pretty useless. You only have 2 190 millimeters. They have a 4-second reload time and 1,300 point of HE damage with an 8% fire chance and a range of 4.2, and they are in the stern of the ship, so yeah, not something particularly useful. Torpedoes, you have 2 triple 550 millimeter torpedoes. They have a 90-second reload time, and they also have a 14,833 max damage with a 9-kilometer range, and detectability range by sea is 1.3 kilometers. So fairly nice torpedoes. They are very useful. They do have that nice range, so you can use them as a secondary offense. AA defense is not too bad, honestly. You have 14 single 20 millimeters, range is 2 kilometers, 50 average damage. Then you have 2 dual 40 millimeters, average damage is 23 with a 3.5 kilometer range. And then you have 2 quad 40 millimeters, 32 average damage with 3.4 kilometer, and then your secondaries offer additional AA with an average damage of a measly 5 with a 4 kilometer range. So your AA is not bad. But the speed is fantastic. This is probably one good aspect of the French cruisers, is that they are very quick, and there's always that good French joke. 36.8 knots. This does have the speed flag, so a little bit slower without the speed flag. 670 meters. She does feel like she has a hard time turning at times, which can be problematic, but it's still viable Rudder shift time is 7.4 seconds. Not too bad, honestly. Pretty decently to be able to change your rudder, but yeah, it's definitely not as quick as, say, the English, the UK, the Royal Navy cruiser line. Detectability range by sea is 10.8. My captain is a 10-point captain, so he does have concealment expert. It's always debatable whether or not to actually go for concealment expert this early, but I recommend it. It normally is out at around your max range, so having this decreased detectability is very beneficial because you can get a little bit closer. Detectability range by air is 5.9 kilometers, so not that bad. Concealment expert definitely does help. When you are upgrading her, I would probably recommend getting the range. The range is very beneficial. This will allow you to keep further away from enemy battleships and other ships, so you can just lob shells and burn them down. And then obviously go for the additional hull, which does give you additional maneuverability, a defense, and survivability with a difference in artillery guns. So taking a look at our captain, very basics. I really do like this priority target. I'm really starting to like this now. You could use it for your direction center for catapult aircraft, but knowing when someone is actually aiming at you allows you to take more evasive action than waiting till the last second before, you know, you actually get slammed with shells and die. Because once again, your citadel is fairly high. Obviously, go for expert marksman. Very nice to actually get your guns turned a little bit quicker. Does help you out. Then I went for demolition expert. Once again, your HE fire chance is very nice. So having that additional plus 2% is very beneficial. Allows you to deal more damage. Then obviously I went for concealment expert. Now, as far as what I'll be doing is still up for debate. I'm still kind of figuring out what or how this French cruiser should be playing. It feels like she's going to be more of a support role, being very similar to how the Japanese cruisers run, being more of a supportive role, firing at long range with the HE damage. But she still has that good AP. As far as I can tell, the AP is pretty decent. Maybe it's just because I see a lot of French cruisers, and like I said, they have high citadels. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump into a replay. I will see you guys there. Alright everyone, welcome back to a replay with the Bertin, and we are currently playing on straight. We have a Hosho, New York, Congo, Wyoming, Kaiser, Bertin, 2 Phoenixes, a Dugway, a Pavoski, and 2 Isakazes on the enemy team. There is a Hosho, 2 Konigs, 2 Wyomings, Omaha, 2 Dugways, Kuma, Nicholas, Isakaze, and Isislav. And I am joined with a good friend of mine, Brandon, in his ARP Congo. May not look like the ARP Congo right now because it's kind of due to the fact of the replay, but it is a ARP Congo. So I really have to say I'm starting to like the French cruisers as of the tier 5. My main probably issue with them is due to the fact they're slow reload rate. It's very different from other tiers. Kind of almost, it feels very similar to how the Zhao fires. If you want a good comparison, anyone that does have the Zhao will understand what I mean. It's a slower fire rate. The shells have more of an arcing look to it, and you see that with this lower detection, we're able to get a little bit closer. This guy is well within our detection range, and we are just now detected by the enemy Nicholas, and AP is loaded. And once again, this AP may not have the same penetration value as the USN cruiser line, but I feel like the AP is pretty decent. Just might be the fact that it's firing against a enemy Dugway, but let's see, 2 citadels right there. That's pretty nice. You really do have to be careful when you're a French cruiser, because you will get citadeled. It's almost as bad as an Omaha or Phoenix. So I have switched over to HE. Obviously, there is a annoying little destroyer who is currently hiding out, and look at that HE damage. 7 shell hits, and we did around 4,000. We knocked out his rudder, and he is on fire. And that's probably another aspect of the French cruisers, at least what I've experienced, is their main flaw is their rudder always being broken. If HE or even AP hits it, you'll lose your rudder shift, or your rudder completely. So something to keep in mind. So switch back over to AP. This way is just showing us the broadside. This is how you should not be playing. This is quite terribly the worst thing you can do. Unfortunately, we don't get a citadel. We get 5 order penetrations, and we are getting hammered by the enemy destroyer. And the Degway gives us a last parting gift, but we should be able to take out this Degway. There we go. Burned him down very nicely. Now, obviously, the enemy Nicholas is currently hiding. He's opening up on our friend in his Congo. And one little side mention is Brandon was having internet issues. So apparently he was lagging out very, very heavily. Now we are no longer detected. We can push in, and we have hydroacoustics. The hydroacoustics, it's okay. It's normal hydroacoustics. It's nothing special. But it is nice to have, especially pushing in towards this North Korean. And there's the enemy Nicholas. Get a big damage hit right there. Knocked out one of his torpedo systems. Probably is going to repair. And I go ahead and kind of keep this island between myself and any annoying battleships. And we get another fire, another incapacitation on this Nicholas. And unfortunately for me, I have essentially come right onto a mountain, and I'm gonna have to try to back up. And look at this Omaha, he's so low on health. He's burning. Who is going to get the kill? Am I gonna do a kill steal? Probably. Yeah. Get a kill steal. Securing the kill is always a good thing. But now with that we have backed up a little bit, we were able to get fire shots out on this enemy Nicholas. He is very low on health. Be nice to take him out. Our team is doing really well. We are ahead in 1 ship, and we are currently taking C. And there it goes, my rudder once again. Like I said, the rudder on the French cruisers are kinda lousy. They really are lousy. So you'll almost always be repairing them. Shots out again on this Nicholas, hoping to finish him off. He's so low on health, but we do get the kill, so that is kill number 3. And look at this, 2 Wyomings. And I really have to say, these Wyomings were not a threat at all. Now the Degway is pushing in, showing us a broadside, has a 50-degree angle. Shots out with AP. Let's see if we can get a citadel. 3 citadels. I will gladly take that. Shaved off half the amount of health. And took a big hit from our friend, Brandon in his Congo. Shots out again. Let's see if we can finish him off. Very nice. That is kill number 4 and 1 citadel. So the southern side of this map is we're definitely taking control. Now the Isakaze is spotted, do have HE up and loaded, and the Isakaze is a very small little ship. And I have missed. Brandon does get a good hit on the enemy Isakaze. Looks like he's probably trying to come in for a torpedo strike, I believe. But look at this, just shaved off about 4,000 points of health right there. He lost his engine. Can we finish him off once and for all? And all this time, I'm constantly moving forward towards this Wyoming, which is something I would not really want to be doing. But fortunately for me, this Wyoming does not really pay attention to me. He is paying attention more so to my friend. We get a fire on that Isakaze, and Isakaze does go down to Brandon Salo. Very nice. Switch my attention over to this Wyoming, and this is one thing French cruisers do fairly well, is the HE, which, I mean, isn't really saying something compared to, say, the Japanese cruiser line or even the Russian cruiser line. All have really good HE. And fortunately, once again, this Wyoming is completely ignoring me, showing my friend Brandon complete broadside. And there we go, got a fire on him. And I'm pretty certain we're probably going to win. I don't foresee this enemy team actually pulling it back. Fired another salvo. And let's see, can we take him out? Let's see if we can help Brandon before he goes down. Our secondaries are actually opening up. Once again, something you don't see all too often, at least with the Bertin, is the secondary opening up. Let's see. Gonna have to kind of turn away. I do want to be a little bit careful looking at my torpedoes, and the spread on the torpedoes, the firing arc is very far forward. Get another fire on this Wyoming. He is going to go down either to fires or to anyone who can finish him off. Guns are finally reloaded, and probably right now would be a good time to actually switch to HE, but yeah, we don't. Unfortunately, we have just lost our Phoenix, but Brandon does take out the low health Wyoming, and this Wyoming, I'm gonna kill still. I know I'm gonna kill still. Yeah, there we go. Kraken Unleashed. Kill number 5. Very, very nice. Now, all this time, our friendly CV actually went down. Obviously, their CV went down as well. But a very, very pesky little Kuma decided to push in and take out our friendly CV. So I'm actually going to be heading up that way also, as well as try to cap. And there's the friendly Kaiser. Yep, was not paying attention. And this Koenig, I don't exactly know what he was thinking. Just kind of keep an eye on him. He really will not move from that spot. That is his favorite spot in the world. He loves that spot. He wants to protect it. You know, fuck the objectives. Let's actually just protect this one spot. Very good damage roll, about 2,000, not too bad. And let's see. Can we get a good salvo? At least a fire would be nice. Now, we are being targeted, and I'm gonna bet is probably from that Koenig. I bet you that Koenig does not like me at all. And switch my attention over to the Kuma. I have AP loaded, and once again, the AP, really fantastic. Really do enjoy this AP. At least from what I've seen. The air velocity, the shells are very nice, and kind of did a kill steal. Earn Confederate, which is always very nice. Always good to see Confederate. Now, we are going to take C fairly quickly, and I am going to try to slow up, try to take C. Getting your objective, doing the objective grants you a lot of money and a lot of experience. So this is why I'm actually going to slow up, and we get a fire on this Koenig. Probably is going to be hating us, and probably is going to switch his attention. Yep. Oh, he did switch his attention over to us just for a second. Another 2,000 points of damage. Not too bad. Another fire would be nice. That would be fantastic, especially since he uses damage control. And I'm actually going to close the distance between me and him. Do get a fire, which is going to grant us some more fire damage. And I could foresee very easily getting Arsonist and Witherer with this ship. With almost any of the French cruisers. Because the HE is pretty fantastic. The range is fantastic. The shell velocity is pretty fantastic. So, yes, I definitely could foresee you getting Arsonist or Witherer with this. So, definitely beneficial. Do launch my spotter craft just so we can kind of keep an eye on this Koenig. This Koenig is essentially getting surrounded by our friendly team. New York coming in from the north, Isakaze coming in from the west, and here I am pushing in from the south. Now, at this moment, there's not a really good shot. Barely can get our shells over the island. Do get a few minor penetrations, but nothing too extravagant. At this angle, it's actually very hard to determine. I can at least see his command tower, his con tower, which is kind of a good idea where he is. He is burning quite nicely. Can we get kill number 7? That would be nice. I really want kill number 7. He's very low in health. Very low in health. Who can get the kill? He's on fire again. Guns reloaded. Shots are out against me. And unfortunately, we don't get kill number 7. But we are going to jump into another replay. Alright, everyone. Welcome back to another replay with the Bertin. And this is probably one of my more higher damaging games. Last game was the most amount of kills I've had in the tier 5 so as of yet. And this is probably one of, if not my highest damaging game. with the Émile. Maybe, I don't know. I've had pretty good games with the Émile, but we'll see. So we are currently playing on Solomon Islands. We have a Hosho, New York, Wyoming, Kaiser, Myogi, Isasuki, Emerald, Bertin, Dugway, Kuma, Clemson, and a V-170. On the enemy team, there is a Hosho, a Congo, Wyoming, Arkansas Beta, Kaiser, Myogi, Emerald, Kirov, Dugway, Karlsruhe, and 2 Clemsons. And as you can tell, there's quite a few battleships in this match, and this is going to be a little bit tricky, but a good demonstration on the HE potential that you can get with the Émile Bertin. Don't know why that Clemson decided to randomly open fire. Continues doing that. That's, yeah, don't exactly know why, but we're gonna kind of stay close to these destroyers, get any potential use from their smoke. At least that is what I'm hoping. Now there is a enemy CV. Main issue is going to be being detected by the enemy CV whenever we open fire. V-170 has made his way in, dropped torpedoes, and there's a Kaiser, there's the Arkansas Beta. Shots are out on that Kaiser, and there's the Kirov. Now, unfortunately for us, the Kirov decided to actually turn away. Now, we get a fire on this Kaiser from our very first salvo, which is really quite nice. Now, there's also the Congo coming in, as well as the Karlsruhe. Trying to be a little bit careful. There's a lot of battleships and a lot of big guns. Now, your torpedoes are pretty fantastic. This is probably a good demonstration on them. 9-kilometer torpedoes. That is really good. And I'm hoping to get a shot off on a cruiser. That's why I have AP. Took a look at the Karlsruhe, but I am pulling away because this smoke screen is very, very small. And I really do not want to tempt fate against some battleships with that may or may not have a fairly good aim. So we're going to kind of distance ourselves. Looked at possibly dropping some more torpedoes, but don't want a chance hitting our friendly destroyer. HE is back up, and torpedo looks pretty good. Should get, yes, one, and get some flooding. Be nice if we set him aflame, and there we go. Of course, he set aflame, and he is going to be burning for a little while. I'm assuming he probably has used his damage control. He's also, I believe, flooding as well, because that damage number is racking up fairly quickly, which is always a good thing. So he also has 2 fires. It looks like he officially has 2 fires. May or may not have that flood. That's actually interesting. But he is going to go down. There's just so many ships firing at him. He is flooding, if possibly flooding, but he's definitely burning alive. Now, once again, I really do like knowing when an enemy ship is aimed at you. The Congo has opened up and fortunately gets minor damage. Which is actually really fantastic. Now, the Nicholas has dropped smoke, and this is allowing us to invisifire, not being detected because of that smoke. We get a fire on the Congo, and I believe this is actually the ARP Hay, or High, or something like that. So this is actually the ARP. So this is probably a more experienced captain, because I believe he's just only has 1 fire. I don't think those are officially 2 fires because I only got 1. I don't think I saw anyone else get any more fires, but we got a fire on the bow. And this is where I was saying kind of an issue with the CV being in the game, because we are being detected by the enemy fighters and not able to really get in a good position to bring all guns to possible fruition. But we do pop Hydro. I popped Hydro because I knew the Karlsruhe was around somewhere, and we are officially now getting into the smoke screen and should be able to disappear. There we go. Now we can just open up against this Congo. And do you remember when I was saying that the AP is pretty good even against a broadside battleship? And this is very risky here. Fortunately, this Nicholas, or Clemson, actually does not back all the way up. So AP is loaded broadside battleship. not bad. 6,000, almost 7,000 points of damage. And unfortunately for us, we do not get the kill. But that's all right. It's not that big of a deal. Now, all that's left on the northeast hand side is this Arkansas beta, which is actually a good possibility that he was a beta tester. Obviously, the only way you could get the Arkansas beta is if you were in the closed beta. So he probably should be fairly experienced, but he is just outnumbered and he is just getting hammered away with HE. And at this time, I'm just going to pull myself away as quickly as possible. The enemy team is definitely down in ships, and I'm going to actually try to push to B and try to cap. Try and get as much experience right now just so I can move on to the next ship. And there is the enemy Clemson. Looks like he has dropped torpedoes, and fortunately my fighter does spot him as well as his torpedoes, and I'm able to slow up. Now, one thing anyone playing low tier really should remember is the Clemson has 4 sets of torpedo tubes. 2 on the starboard, 2 on the port. And guess what he is doing right now? He's dropping his other side, but we should be fine. And I think any moment now we do get a incapacitation. Any moment now, yes, I am going to lose connection slightly, a huge lag spike, as I just start turning in and barreling straight towards this beach. And unfortunately for me, I was detected, but no longer. Do get torpedoes off, and now we are back in connection. Hoping possibly getting those torpedoes would land on this Clemson, but I don't think this is going to be the case. Now, the enemy team is trying their best. The Kuma is definitely pushing down, and here for some odd reason this fighter squadron, or this lone fighter, does not die very quickly, which actually kind of surprises me because he is the one detecting me. And the Clemson obviously is no longer in cap, or is still in cap, sorry, is still in cap. Now he's not, he actually pulled away, and here I am just trying to wait for my hydroacoustics. I have about 15 seconds left. And fortunately for us, the fighter is now dead, and now we can actually push towards the smoke without being detected and hopefully not take a torpedo. Now the enemy team has the Miyogi and a Emerald all the way over at A, and they're not particularly useful for their team. And here is a good strategy. So here I'm about 2.1. I do start slowing up. I'm trying to prevent myself from being detected, because if I get within 2 kilometers, he is going to detect me and able to open up. And we are getting pretty good damage, and it looks like he does drop torpedoes, and I should be able to dodge these fairly easily. Our hydroacoustic is definitely working out well for us. We have officially captured B, and now we can hope we can take out the Clemson. He is burning quite readily right now. And let's see, can we get our very first kill of the game? No one can steal it from us. And fortunately, I actually overlead the shot, but our rear turret does land the shots, and we get our very first kill of the game. And look at our damage right now, 95k. Not saying that's overly impressive, but that's pretty impressive for a tier 5. Not something you see almost all the time, or at least in my opinion, not something I see all the time. Now the enemy team only has 3 ships left and 1 cap. They have 73 points as of this moment, and I really want to get a little bit more damage. The enemy Hosho is going to get focused on, and my focus right now is going to be this Emerald. This Emerald is indeed need of a spanking. We'll say this, he's definitely needing of a spanking, so we'll see if we can get our armor piercing right to his citadel and maybe get us a second kill. Now we do have a friendly Miyogi that is, I think, going for a ram. I'm pretty certain. He's definitely low on health. He's taking a beating from the enemy Miyogi. And is he gonna go for the ram? I'm pretty certain he is. Let's see. There we go. There's the ram. Both go down. And at this moment, I am interested in capturing the base, because obviously you get more money and points. And fortunately for the enemy team, they had just enough points not to lose the game instantly after the loss of the Hosho. And all that's left is this poor, lonely emerald. And here I am gonna try to be a little bit careful. The emerald does pop smoke, but he is going way too quick. He's going to slip out. And look at this AP Citadel right there. Once again, not saying much compared when you're firing on a British cruiser. And here I'm actually waiting. I waited just a bit before firing, just so I can cap base and take out the enemy emerald. So we earned a victory for our very first battle. 319,993 silver, 4,151 XP, and 208 free XP. We earned Confederate First Blood and Kraken Unleashed. We did 93,446 points of damage, 137 shell hits, 6 planes shot down, 8 incapacitation, 6 kills, 11 fires, 7 citadels, 1 assisted base capture, and 2 secondary hit. We are on top of the team with a base XP of 1,785. We did 20,981 against one Degway, around 15,000 against the other Degway, around 8,000 against the Nicholas, 6,000 against the Kuma, around 586 against that Wyoming, and 179 against the Omaha. Slight kill still there, I will have to admit, but though I did lose 1 kill due to the fact that someone got shots in before he could burn to death, so I think I was slightly justified, or at least got some karma sent back towards me because I kill stole. HE, we did around 37,498 points of damage. Our AP did around 31,634. And fires did a lofty 24,314 points of damage, which, once again, really good. I'm really enjoying the French cruisers HE as of yet. After everything was said and done, 258,310 silver was brought home. And unfortunately, I did not take picture shots or screenshots of the second replay, so I'm not able to show you, but the damage was 103,565 points of damage, I believe, somewhere in that ball field. I'll quickly pop it up because I'm gonna quickly edit it real quick, but other than that, I really am enjoying the French cruisers. As of late, they are starting to feel really like they have a high potential, even though there's a lot of issues with the later tiers. We'll see as I go up and we get there, but I'm definitely looking forward to moving on to the tier 6. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we are going to officially say goodbye to the Émile Bertin, and we are going to move on. So if you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Sai Jen.